Jane Addams was a progressionist. She thought everyone deserved an education. She was born to a wealthy family on September 6, 1860, in Cedarville, Illinois. Her father was a senator and a successful businessman. Her family was friends with Abraham Lincoln. She was sick a lot as a child, so she loved reading. She spent a lot of time reading as a child. She surrounded herself with many literary classics. She was a part of the generation of first women to be allowed to attend college. And she graduated from college and went to medical school for a short time. She dropped out shortly after her father passed away. Because she was from a wealthy family, Miss Addams was able to travel to Europe. There she observed poverty. She was moved by the poor, homeless, and uneducated people she saw there. They were living on the streets. She wanted to help them. She thought they felt hopeless with no one to give them hope. When Miss Addams returned to Chicago, she co-founded a settlement house. It was called Hull House and still exists today on the campus of Chicago University. Today it is a museum. Hull House has its purpose to improve the social and educational welfare of the people that entered its doors. All were welcomed at Hull House. Miss Addams wanted them to all have hope. She believed that by offering these people shelter and an education, that she would be giving them the hope that they needed. Jane Addams accomplished many things in her life besides Hull House. She was the co-winner of the Nobel Peace Prize in 1931, the first female president of the National Conference of Social Work, and she served on Chicago's Board of Education in 1905. The Hull House was dedicated to educating all people that came to stay there. It did not matter whether they were children, adolescents, or adults. They were all offered an education. Many beneficial programs were started at Hull House. They established a nursery school for the young children staying at Hull House. Hull House was an educational institution that protested against a restrictive view of education. Hull House featured art and literature classes, political discussion groups, and plays. Jane Addams shared John Dewey's view of education. They both thought the basic concept of education went beyond formal learning in classrooms. Miss Addams was convinced that adequate education should not be disconnected from reality. Miss Addams believed that an educator's role was to provide knowledge that would improve the life of all participants in the community. She believed that education would close the proverbial gaps or divisions that existed in society. Her work appears to be alien to those steeped in the Western tradition of philosophy. Jane Addams' work flows from working out tangible social issues of her day into the many same social issues of the present that are still relevant today. Jane Addams was criticized for her radical pacifism. She has been called a socialist and a communist. Others have said she was a complacent and self-satisfied woman. I believe that Jane Addams was supportive of the intellectual community. She provided us with insight into social issues of her time that are still social issues in our time. She believed that education would give the poor and desperate hope. She provided us with a basic understanding of urban life, its problems, and some solutions to those problems. She saw the needs of the poor, uneducated people of her era. She did not just look away. She tried to help them make their lives better. This is what education should do. It should give hope. It should make lives better. We need to meet the students in our classroom.